Wait, how did this all happen? Some time ago, Anna and Beverly were trying to choose course books for their teen classes. They simply couldn't find one that matched their list of criteria.
Our students need authentic tasks, real language, and learner training.
I know.
Meanwhile, Jenny and Cristina were experiencing the same problem.
You know what, Cristina? One day we'll just have to write a course book ourselves.
Fast forward to 2019. Jenny, Cristina, Anna and Beverly came together as a team.
What shall we call it?
All-Stars!
Oh, we forgot to mention that these all-stars, just like all teachers, have superpowers. Let's meet the first star on the road, Anna, a Canadian.
A Canuck, as we say in Canada.
Okay, a Canuck daughter of Portuguese parents was once a shy little girl with dreams. She wanted to be either a rock star or an actress one day. Sadly, she soon discovered she couldn't carry a tune. But that didn't stop her. Instead, she shifted her passion to studying the creative process of songwriting. She even became a music festival junkie.
Shh! That's one of my dark secrets.
Her acting career didn't go any further than school plays and amateur theatre groups. But what Anna discovered along the way was that her true passion was connecting to people.
That's right. I became a teacher. I learned that nothing in the world is more fulfilling than connecting with learners and making an impact on their lives.
She took into the classroom her superpowers: music, stories, role plays, creativity, and used them to engage her teenage learners.
It worked for me and every single one of us. I'm sure it'll work for you too. Can't wait to show you how.
All stars are on the road, but they haven't arrived yet.
Hello, my name's Jenny Bartlett, and these are my colleagues on the All-Star team, my co-authors. Welcome to this session on top tips for learner autonomy. I'd like to start off by telling you about a short scene that you might sound familiar. So, you're in a class, teaching, you decide to do a reading or a writing task. Okay, so you have pre-taught the vocabulary, you check the vocabulary, any phrases they're going to need, the instructions, check the instructions. Are there any questions? No? Fantastic. Off you go. So my students are going to work quietly and independently on their task for the next 10 or 15 minutes, and I can relax. Or does this sound familiar? Teacher, how do you say levantei-me muito tarde e não tive tempo de fazer nada in English? O que é have? Apple tem quantos pés? Eu não sei como começar. Oh, teacher, como escrevo yesterday? Está certo? O que é que temos de fazer? And relax. So, what do we mean by learner autonomy? Well, according to Hollick, learner autonomy is the ability to take charge of your own learning. Great. But what about my learners? How can I help them to take charge of their learning and take the pressure off me a bit and avoid all those questions that we have when they're doing something on their own? Well, I start off by having a teacher's toolkit. Now, my teacher's toolkit for today is the following. Coloured pens, Post-its. You know, teachers, we love our stationery. Now, this is actually 2-in-1. This is a star. We all need stars in our lives. We need to help our learners reach for the stars. And it's also 5 points. Now, I like to have 5 things in my classes when I'm planning. And obviously, my teacher heart. So I have my teacher toolkit. Now let's think a little bit more about how I'm going to use that. So the first thing is signpost. Obviously, as teachers, we are models for our students. And in terms of learner autonomy, we should be showing them the way to go. Now, we all need goals in life. Whether our students' goals are to travel around the world, settle in a foreign country and live their life in English, we don't know. But let's focus on a shorter, short-term goal, and it's our menu for today's lesson. So let's break it down into baby steps towards autonomy. Our menu for today, going to be looking at memory, top 5. Told you I like 5s. Banana your partner, know your book, and what stuck with you. Now, when I write the menu on the board, I don't actually make it too explicit because I want students to be curious and think, banana your partner, what's that? I'm interested to know, what is it? So I want to create that need to know. So here's my menu, my signpost. So let's have a look at remembering new language, because you can never learn if you can't remember. And some students obviously find it more difficult than others. You know, we have a mixed classes with students with ADD, students who are dyslexic and possibly other things. So not everybody finds it as easy to remember as others. And I don't know about you, but being thrown into online teaching and having all these apps and different things that I can use with my students has actually been a fairly steep learning curve. And I can't always remember all of them all of the time. So when we're talking about new language, the first thing to do is writing it down. You can't remember if you don't write things down. It really helps your memory. Students don't always remember to do that. So you need to say, okay, guys, you need to write this down now. So we've written it down. Great. Step 1. But how do we then get that into our long-term memory? What happens between writing a word down or a bit of language and putting it in our notebook and actually using it? Well, research says that we should revisit it after 10 minutes, after a day, a week, a month, and 6 months. So as teachers, we could probably help our students with the first 3 or 4 of those by doing some revision in class, reminding them to look at language. The 6 months, we probably won't be seeing them in 6 months. They'll be someone else's students. So we need to give them the tools to help do that themselves. I asked my students what they did. So when do you look at vocabulary again? So these are answers from my 13-year-old students, and I didn't correct anything. So the language, there are a couple of spelling mistakes. So they said this. Okay. Yeah, reading, yes, didn't notice that spelling mistake there. Okay, so when they need it, they're looking into their notebooks. Brilliant, that's a good tactic. Okay, doesn't necessarily mean they're looking at it in this timescale, but they are revisiting it. Okay, this is what some of them said. However, the next one I think may be a little bit more honest. When the notebook is opened on the right page. Exactly. Most students don't think past that page. Once you've gone past it, okay, I'm not going to look again. So how do we make sure that their notebook is opened on the right page more often? So we need to encourage students to be looking at this language. Okay, so here's a couple of activities that might help. First one is top 5. So each question has many possible answers. There are 5 questions and let's start. So you only need to write down one answer. You get points if your answer is in the top 5. Okay, so here's my question. Name a morning routine. So just think of one routine and either think of it or write it down. Okay. Now we're going to compare with mine. Have a shower. If you wrote that, you get 1 point. Brush your teeth, 2 points. Get dressed, 3. Have breakfast, you get 4. And the top routine is, absolutely, it's get up. If you wrote that, you get 5 points. Okay. So this is quite a simple PowerPoint template, very easy to change. It could be as simple as colors, or you could put phrasal verbs. So basically, I put everything here. The students think of one thing, but they're not just thinking of one thing, are they? They're actually thinking of more than one thing and choosing one. So as you're thinking of a set of language, a lexical set, in your brain, your brain is actually opening your schemata and you'll think all of the words connected to this particular lexical set. So it's a good way to get students reviewed. And you might want to then focus on some of the language. Okay, you had breakfast. What else can you have? Have a cup of tea, have a coffee, have a yogurt. So food and drink. You can have a shower. So we can explore this a little bit. Or then you could say, when do you do these things? What time do you do them? What did you do first this morning? So interacting as much as possible. If you don't want to use a PowerPoint, then you can get students. So have student-generated task. So you get a piece of paper, fold it in half, and then you give them a category. So, for example, I'm going to give student A category of school subjects and student B clothes. They have to write 5 words connected to their topic. Could be 5, could be 10. Let's say 5. And when they've finished, they put their paper on the desk and they have to guess each other's words. So, for example, school subjects, have you got Portuguese? No, I haven't. English? Yes, I have. Of course. Clothes, have you got socks? Yes. Shoes? No. Again, so there are 5 words. You have 10 questions, 10 guesses, or however many you as a teacher decide. So basically, again, they're thinking about all of the words in that topic. And they can look in their vocabulary book or in the back of the book, in the word list, to find words as well. So coming on to word lists. Surprising how little students know what's in their book, apart from the page that they're on. And there's so much in books that can help them and can also help when they've got a question. So there are vocabulary lists, for example, or grammar. So at the beginning of term, I give students a little quiz, a list of questions to find out about what they know about the book. So for example, where can you find the vocabulary for the unit? Where's the irregular verb list? Grammar revision. Or what can you find at the end of each unit? Oh look, it's got some vocabulary practice. Great. I've got a self-assessment. I can see how well I did. Find a picture you like and tell your partner about it. And this, I think, is really important. Are there any digital resources? I mean, there are fantastic digital resources that come with books. Porto Editora works very hard to create this. And do students always use them? Not necessarily. We need to show and encourage students to find out, to help out. So when they ask you, where can I do some extra practice? Have a look in the digital resources. So using this, we could come on to banana your partner. Now, what does that mean, banana your partner? Well, a very simple way of substituting a word for a banana. So I could give a definition of a word, and substitute the word for banana, for example. I do science experiments in the banana. Student A, student B. The laboratory? That's right. Could change the verb. I banana science experiments in the laboratory. Make? No, you don't make experiments, you do them. Oh yes, that's right. Now, again, they can use their books to find the language to test their partner. Okay, so going to go back to our menu for today. And reflection is really important as well. So thinking about what we have done as well as what we are going to do, so is important. So let's have a look. So we did these things in class. What do you remember about them? What was your favorite thing? What are you going to take away? What are you going to use with your classes on Monday? Which thing haven't we done yet? What's stuck with you? Exactly. So what's stuck with you today? Not only do we encourage students to make notes of their during the class and put in their vocabulary section, but at the end of the class, we need to think about what we've done. As teachers, we reflect on lessons. What went well today? What will I do differently next class? And with students, I do something like this. This is my exit tickets for one class. And I made a series of pockets that I stick up on near the door. So as they leave, I can say, okay, guys, so we looked at the language today, looked at the lesson menu, present perfect. Do you remember a sentence that we did in the present perfect? How comfortable do you feel about the present perfect? So they can put their paper in. Yeah, I got that. Okay, I need a bit more practice. More or less, or no, I have no idea. By putting their paper in there, you just get a little poll basically on how well your students did. You can also use online ones that you can find. But I kind of like this physical bit. So just put the paper in and it's quick and easy. So I can see whether I need to do a remedial presentation or just a quick review. In come our post-its. We're going to use the post-its to also, on your post-it, write an example of the present perfect. Stick it on the wall. And again, I can see if students have got that. So tell me an experience you've had. So what have you done today? A word you liked. What are you going to take away from the class? And I'd like to finish with something from the great Sir Ken Robinson. There's a little thought. Teachers are like gardeners. Why? Well, as a gardener, you can't actually make a plant grow. You can't stick the leaves on. You can't pull those roots down. But you can create the right conditions, enough water, enough light to help that plant grow and flourish. And as teachers, we can create the right conditions to help our students grow and flourish and become more autonomous and independent and able to function in the world. Thank you very much. I look forward to working with you in the future. If you've got any questions, please email.